All right, welcome everybody. Um, I discovered the last Yoga for the People class that I did that I should actually introduce myself now that I'm putting them on YouTube. I usually just start in like I normally would if I had my class in front of me, but I'm Libby, and I'm the owner and operator of In the Hills, which is actually my business has a few different legs to it, but the main one is that I run a fully functioning yoga studio out of the basement of my home where I teach 9 group classes a week and see people on a private basis as well. Um, so during this interesting situation of quarantine, I have wanted to continue to serve my students and even expand that to the greater community and, hopefully the world, and run 3 classes a week. I do them over Zoom, and so my students have access to come in live to the class. If you are not one of my current students and you're interested in joining us live when I do the recordings, feel free to you can shoot me an email. My email address is in the description below, but it's just libbygore@gmail.com, all one word. No dots or anything like that. So there's the introduction. Tonight's class, tonight is Friday, so it's a Feel Good Friday. So on Fridays, the classes that I run have more of a therapeutic lean to them. Oftentimes the poses that we come into don't look like the traditional version of the posture, but more of a functional movement. Lean, sometimes we do a little bit of myofascial release, but it's just to kind of relax and release any tension out of our body that may have built up over the week. And now that many of us are working from home, I know a lot of you are probably sitting over your desk, and so our main focus really in these Friday Feel Good Yoga for the People classes has mainly been neck, shoulders, back, and hips. So you really can't go wrong when you're opening those things up. Now, if you're looking for something a little more along the lines of traditional Hatha yoga, where the poses are held and a little more vigorous practice with sun salutations and all of that in it, you can join me on Sundays for my Yoga for the People. And then I also run a Wednesday, or Yin's Day as we like to call it, class on Wednesday evenings, and that's Eastern Standard Time. And it's a yin focused class. All of my classes are 90 minutes. So, all right, commercial done. Let's go ahead and come to our comfortable seated position. Oh yeah, there is a disclaimer in the description. Basically, it says you're responsible to be released by your doctor to begin any exercise program, including this one that you're taking a part in right now. And neither I nor In the Hills is liable for any injury that you may cause to yourself, but you can read the full disclaimer in the description below. All right, coming to a comfortable seated position. Sitting up nice and tall through the crown of your head by lifting from the base of your skull. That'll draw your chin in toward your throat slightly. Let's just start with 3 breaths of release here. That's a deep inhale and then an open mouth sigh on the exhale. So taking an inhale. And closing your eyes and settling into your seat here. Continuing to lift through the crown of the head. Relaxing the muscles of your face, your jaw, tops of your shoulders, allowing the shoulders to melt down the back as you bring a slight lift into heart center. Holding the pelvis and spine in just a natural position here, drawing in slightly on the navel to support the low back. Maybe taking a moment to set an intention for your practice here this evening, or maybe your upcoming week, or maybe for the remainder of your quarantine. Just holding that intention in heart space to create the imprint. And we'll bring our hands together at heart center. We'll inhale, reaching forward and up. And then exhale, back down to the heart. Holding here to open our class with 3 ohms. Taking an inhale. Fourth ohm resonates within the heart space. All right, we are going to begin our sequence just with a little seated warm-up of the spine here. By the way, if you're, I'm trying to get my paper straight over here, the wind's blowing, so I gotta make sure they're tucked under my mat so they don't go flying off across the ditch into the pasture. If while you were sitting here, you felt yourself posteriorly dumping into your low back, you can always bring either a blanket. I didn't grab a blanket, nor did I grab blocks tonight, just because this is a prop-free sequence. But know that you can always elevate your hips by sitting either on a block or on a blanket, and that'll bring you from that posteriorly dumped back to that nice gentle curve of the low back that is our natural curve in the low back. So since we've been sitting here for a minute, go ahead and cross your legs the opposite way. And I always like to say to my students, cross them the wrong way, because you crossed them the right way the first time you came into it, because you always cross the way that feels natural to you. So when you cross the opposite way, it should feel a little strange to you. So cross the wrong way. All right, we'll start here by inhaling the arms up overhead. Try not to squeeze up through your shoulders. Now, I do want you to reach up through your shoulders as if you're trying to lengthen up out of the sides of your waist. But that only lifts really the outside edges of your shoulders. It's this part that's right next to your neck where we have a tendency to squeeze up in it toward our ears. That's what I don't want you doing. So you can lift through the shoulders without squeezing up through them, if that makes sense. Hopefully so. Deep inhale here. Exhale, gentle twist to the right. Deep inhale up to center. Exhale, gentle twist to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. One more each side. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. And then inhale, center. Exhale, release down. We'll come on to hands and knees for a variation of cat-cow breathing. So before we come on to hands and knees, let me say this to you. If you have sensitive knees, you may want to put a blanket under your knees and just for some extra padding. We'll be here for a moment. All right, so coming on to hands and knees. Where I don't want you is dumped, collapsed in your belly, collapsed in your chest. So you want to be lifting up. Now we're not rounding the back. We're just coming to neutral spine here, just not collapsed down. So it's lifted and neutral. And then you're going to step your hands forward, extending through your arms so that your hands are quite forward of your shoulders. And this puts us into a position called puppy pose or anahata asana. And we're going to be doing our cat-cow breathing from this puppy pose type position. So on the inhale, we'll reach our tailbone back and up and let our chest start dropping toward the mat. But keep pressing down through your hands to keep your shoulders activated onto your back. And then on the exhale, we're gonna keep pressing down through the hands, but tuck under with our tailbone, pelvis, and chin. So it's an inhale, opening to the mat. Exhale, tucking. Inhale, chest moves toward the mat. Exhale, backside of the heart moves up toward the sky. You want to try to split your shoulder blades apart here. Wrap them around your rib cage. Inhale, shoulder blades come in toward the spine. Exhale, shoulder blades split and wrap as you tuck. Inhale, tailbone reaches back and up. Exhale, tucking. You can probably feel this in the shoulders about now. On the inhale, you may find that you're going a little lower to the mat. Already opening up. Exhale, tucking. Last one. Inhale down to the mat. Exhale, tuck. And then we'll just walk our hands back under our shoulders. If you'd like to sit back on your heels and shake that out a little bit, that's cool. And then we're going to come back on to hands and knees. So I like to cue the hands just slightly forward and just slightly wider than the shoulders. Oftentimes you'll see them cued so that the wrist is immediately beneath the shoulder. But I find slightly forward and slightly wider is just a little more comfortable in my body. It doesn't put so much weight down in the wrists. Now here's another trick to keep weight out of your wrists. And that is to come up on your fingertips and then press as you come down to the mat, to the first knuckle, and you're still pressing all the way across or all the way palm now to the mat. What that does is it fires up all the little muscles in your hands and it kind of distributes your weight across your hand instead of having it dump right into the heel of your palm, right into your wrist there. So from here, we're going to lift the right leg, keeping it in the 90-degree angle that it began in. So here we have it with the knee under the hip, and you can see the leg is in a 90-degree angle. Oh, by the way, support your low back by drawing everything up and not sagging into it. Support and lift, coming to neutral spine. We're going to lift the right leg back and up and hold it there so that the foot is flexed and the sole of the foot is open to the sky. Once again, try not to dump. Try to stay lifted here. And we're going to pulse the sole of the foot up. So it's pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Hold there and try to bring your left hand to your belly. 5, 4, and I'm pressing down through the right hand. 2, 1, and release down. You can press back real quick to just stretch the hip back out into a not quite child's pose here. This is really nothing. It just feels good. All right, coming back up. Reset your hands. And we're going to do the same thing with the left leg. So engage up to neutralize the spine. I shouldn't have worn all green. I'm blending with the trees. Hopefully y'all can see me okay. All right, lifting the left leg, keeping that 90-degree angle. Sole of the foot is open to the sky. And pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Hold. Try to bring your right hand to your belly, keeping it engaged up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing everything back down. Stretch back. All right, now we're going to turn the hands so that the fingertips, I shouldn't have brought it in. I want them just a little wider than your shoulder. Fingertips pointing open laterally, so to the sides. And all we're going to do here is shift side to side. Just working into the wrist a little bit. Breathing. You don't necessarily have to be breathing with the rhythm of your body. Just breathe naturally here. That sun just dropped below a tree, and so it's shining right in my eyes now. All right, come back to center. Turn your fingertips forward again. And now we're just going to shift forward of our wrist and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. After this, we've got one more posture right now on our knees. So I'll get you off of your knees here in a minute. A couple more rocks forward. Really pressing when you come forward. All right, now come down onto your forearms and you can clasp your hands in center here, or you can place your palms flat on the mat. I like to hold in center. I don't know, it makes me feel like I have more power or something. I don't know. So what I don't want to do is collapse in my upper back and chest. I want to keep lifted, keep neutral. And I'm going to cat-cow breathe from this position now. So on the inhale, without collapsing, I'm going to reach my tailbone back and up, reach my crown back toward my tailbone. Exhale, tuck everything under, try to split those shoulder blades as much as you can, really puffing into your upper back. Inhale, puff the heart forward and up as you try to squeeze your shoulder blades in towards your spine. Exhale, puff the back side of the heart up. 3 more. Inhaling. And exhaling. And inhaling. And exhaling. and inhaling and exhale. Then I'd just like you to inhale to neutral here. Once again, it's a supported neutral, not a collapsed neutral, supported. So I'm really pressing down through my palms here, or I'm sorry, through my forearms here, just to create that solid structure in my upper back. Turn your toes under. Take an inhale into your low back. Exhale, press back and up into, well, this is called Shishuasana, but it's basically a variation of down dog. And then take an inhale. Exhale, lower your knees. You can either hover over the mat or touch all the way down. Inhale down here. Exhale, press back and up. Inhale. Exhale, lower and touch or lower and hover. Take an inhale. Exhale, press up. Inhale. Exhale, go ahead and lower all the way down, and you can come onto your bum. All right. So we're going to move through. I'm going to move into the hips a little bit more and move through some windshield wiper and then some twisted deer posture. So we'll start with windshield wipers, and we're going to start kind of small and get a little bigger. So let's start with the hands propping us up. So I've just got my hands behind me on the mat. And I want you to actually start with feet together, because I want you to notice the difference in windshield wipering with your feet close and windshield wipering with them spread apart. One is not wrong and the other one is right. They're just different and they feel different in the body. So let's start about hips distance apart, and you're just going to drop. Now this hip definitely comes up off the mat when I come over to the right there, and then inhale up, exhale. So you don't necessarily have to go with your breath with this if you're going at this pace, but just try to notice where you feel this stretch occur. And when I come all the way over with this top hip, I'm not passive here. I really want to try to push that hip forward and up. Now, if this isn't very challenging for you at all, and you'd like to add a little bit more to it, you can do this free-handed. That adds a little bit of core work into it. And this is when I start butt walking. I'm almost off my mat. I always butt walk with windshield wipers. Okay, come back to center. I gotta reset. All right, let's set the feet. I just got bitten by something. Let's set the feet far apart now. Let's all start with hands behind the back so we can really focus on where we feel this now. So we drop the knees over and really press into the hip. So in my own body, when the feet are closer together, I feel it more in the hip itself. And when the feet are wider apart, I feel it more through the quadricep. But that's just my body. You may be completely different in your body. So I'm going to try to go free-handed here. And I'm really trying to press that hip up. I'm almost off my mat again. Press. The grass is not too forgiving when it comes to sliding. All right, I'm off the mat. I got to reset. Let's get one more side to side here. Okay, so hold on this right side. And you're already in position for twisted deer. I'm going to turn on my mat so that you can see, well, I don't know. I'm going to turn this way, but I haven't changed anything. My leg position is exactly the same. Now, I would like for you to bring the hands toward your heart. You can clasp them, you can hold in the center, you can bring your fists together in the center here. And we'll inhale, and you're going to twist over the left hip. So that's my back leg right now. And then on the exhale, you're going to twist over, bring your hand over your right hip, and bring your hands to the mat. So inhale, release, twist left. Exhale, hands down for support, twist right. And when I twist right, that left hip comes up and over. And I'm really pushing into it. And this actually gives me a belly stretch here. So inhale, twist right. I'm sorry, left. Exhale, support, twist right. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. One more of those. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Hold here. And you're really trying to open your heart into that side plane there and getting that deep twist in the low back. If you would like, you can lower this down for a different experience. A little more twist, a little more bottom hip is what I'm feeling when I come down. You could even go all the way down to the mat if you'd like. And that offers more stretch on that top hip when I come all the way down. And we'll have 3 more breaths here. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not, but there are some squirrels going crazy right here in the tree next to me. All right, if you're down, go ahead and inhale yourself up, unwind, and we'll switch sides. So it's as if you came back to windshield wiper, dropped the knees left, you're in position now. Once again, I'm going to shift my body so that I can still face the camera, but that's the setup here. All right. So hands up. This time you're going to inhale, keeping your hands free. You're going to inhale and twist right, and then exhale, support yourself. Press through that top hip to get a full twist left through the back. Inhale right, exhale left. Inhale right, exhale left. Inhale right, exhale left. Inhale right, exhale left. Last one, and we'll hold. Inhale right, exhale left, and hold. You can either hold right up here and work at opening your heart to the side and really pressing through that hip. Or if you'd like to go a little deeper, you can come down onto forearms, or maybe even all the way down to the mat to breathe. I'm watching for any exciting wildlife spectacles that I can show y'all. In my Yin's Day night class this last Wednesday, we had a turkey friend visit us. That was exciting. That's what my husband and I have been doing pretty much every day. We spend some time deer spotting and turkey and rabbit. We haven't seen a coyote yet this year. We did see our snake friend. He came to visit the other day. 'Tis the season. All right, inhaling your way up and back to center. And you can release out of this, maybe shake it out a little bit. And then you'll come back onto hands and knees just for a moment. So we shouldn't need padding or anything because we're not going to be here for too long. Go ahead and set your hands slightly forward, slightly wider than the shoulders. Reach back through the right leg, extending back. My toes are on the mat, my heel's up, and I'm just going to bounce back into that heel. And you should feel the calf stretch when you do that. Should feel good. So I'm just opening through the back of my leg here. Really the back of my lower leg. My hamstring's not getting much here. Maybe different for you. All right. And we can bring that back. Turn the toes under. Let's reset hands. You're going to neutralize the spine, but support it, not collapsed. Neutral and supported. Turn your toes under. Take an inhale into your low back. On the exhale, press back and up to downward facing dog. Now remember, at the beginning of our practice, I talked about reaching through the shoulders without squeezing up through the top of them. You should have that same sensation here. The shoulder blades are really pressing onto your back and moving up, but you're not squeezing up through those shoulder muscles right at the base of your neck, especially on each side under your ears. So you're keeping the space there, but you're coming very, very lengthened. And you want an external rotation of the upper arm bones to open the space around your ears. And then let's just shift our heels from side to side. That'll give us a little bit of a hip stretch. Navel stays lifted. Low ribs stay drawn up toward the spine. Once again, the low rib thing is so that you're not collapsing into that. You're drawing it up, but you're not tucking under and creating flexion of the spine. This is just to hold the neutral spine. And then we will walk our hands back toward our feet, taking a very generous bend in the knees, and just let the torso spill over your thighs. And you can shake your head around, just letting all tension release out of the neck through traction from gravity, drawing down on the spine, creating space and length. Maybe nod yes and no a little bit. And then with the hands, actually no, we're not going there, we're coming up. So I want you to bring your hands to your thighs, and on the inhale, you're going to straighten your legs, reach your shoulders back, and reach your heart forward here in half forward fold. That's the inhale. And then you're going to exhale and let everything soften back into your dangling forward fold. Inhale, halfway up to lengthen. Exhale, dangle. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, dangle. Inhale, lengthen. Really reaching the heart and the crown forward. Exhale, dangle. One more of those. Inhale, lengthen. I'm pushing back on my thighs. Exhale, dangle. You can walk your hands back forward into your downward facing dog. Take an inhale in down dog. Exhale, bend through your knees and hover over the mat or touch down if you need to. Inhale here. Exhale, press back up. Inhale, down dog. Exhale, active table. Inhale, active table. Exhale, down dog. One more of those. Inhale, down dog. Exhale, active table. Inhale, down dog. I'm sorry, inhale, table. Exhale, down dog. And then you can lower yourself back down to hands and knees to come through and do that all over again with the left leg being lengthened this time. Set your hands, reach back through your left heel, extending back through the leg, and bounce into that heel. Seems like so long ago that we were here, huh? Oh, I might have overplanned. My goodness. I might have way overplanned tonight. I usually do, but where we are in our sequence and what I'm looking at for us to go is a long way away. We'll see what happens. All right. Back down onto hands and knees. Turn the toes under. Exhale, down dog. Heels go side to side, kind of in a windshield wiper motion. Lengthening through the shoulders. This is another thing that I walk off my mat doing. My legs slide back when I do this one. All right. Walk your hands back towards your feet to come into that very bent leg, dangling forward fold. And we'll inhale up to half forward fold. Exhale, dangle. Inhale, fold. Half. Exhale, dangle. Inhale, half fold. Shoulders press away. Exhale, dangle. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, dangle. Last one. Inhale, half fold. Exhale, dangle. We'll walk forward into our down dog. Deep inhale. Exhale, bend and hover the knees. Touch down if you need to. Inhale here. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, down dog. Exhale, active table. Inhale, active table. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, down dog. Last one. Exhale, active table. Inhale, active table. Exhale, down dog. Walk your hands back to come into your dangling position. Really let go. Maybe do the nodding again to really let it out. This should not have worn a hoodie for this. It's driving me bonkers. Seemed like a good idea at the time. And then we'll inhale up halfway, but this time I want you to take goalpost arms. So elbows in line with your shoulders. Really draw your low ribs and your navel up towards your spine. One more breath here. And then inhale all the way up. Exhale, releasing your arms. Woo! All right. Hopefully you're nice and warm and it's feeling good to you. We're going to continue. Moving a little bit more into hips and a little bit of active stretch, meaning it's basically stretch that has strengthening built into it, which is a smart way to do your stretching. So we'll start with just loosening the hip. So I'm going to start by lifting my right knee hip height with my, hip height, period, not hip height with my hip. That's redundant. So my right knee lifts up. If you need to hold your arms out for balance, feel free. And we're just going to start by circling that knee open. So this is what it looks like. I kind of come into that Captain Morgan pose there. Get a little captain in ya. There hasn't been any Captain Morgan flowing during quarantine, but I have to admit there's been a little bit of bourbon. I'm a whiskey kind of girl. Not too much, just a little bit. I'm losing my balance. Me getting off talking about whiskey here. All right. And release that down. And from here, you're going to bring your hands to your heart. You'll draw that knee up hip height again. And then very carefully with control, try to step all the way back to a high lunge position. Okay, so let me talk about high lunge here a little bit. The front knee should be directly over the front ankle. My pelvis is square to the front of the mat. And one cue I like to give to help the pelvis square off is to wrap your back thigh in towards your navel. Now, keeping that wrapped in, I want you to press strong through that back leg. And then from here, you can either bring your hands to your hips, or you can bring arms out to the side like an airplane for balance. You take this next one as deeply as your knees say is okay. Do not push yourself into pain or injury. We're going to take an inhale, and you can exhale. So you want to go straight down. It's a vertical movement, which keeps, with the back knee, which keeps my front knee directly over my ankle. And then we come back up, exhale down. You don't have to go as deep as I'm going. Inhale up. Maybe yours goes like this. Exhale, bend. Inhale up. Exhale, bend. Make sure that you're not horizontally shifting and sending that knee forward. It's straight down so that you can feel the stretch through the hip and quad, and then up. Straight down. Last one. And up. Hands to the hips, hands out to the side for balance either way, or hands to the heart. You're going to shift your weight over that front leg and launch your back foot forward. I almost fell. To standing. Shake that out. Throw your limbs away from you. And when I say throw your limbs away, I want it to be nice and, I can't think of the word. It's strong. It's not a fish. You're throwing it away so that you feel your joints kind of jar a little bit. Well, actually pop open, the opposite of jarring. And that's why we throw it away with some vigor. It's to promote the synovial fluid exchange in your knee joints, especially after that bent knee lunge work we just did. We want to open it back up and get that synovial fluid pumping through there. Okay, same thing, left leg. So we start in center here. Hands can either be on the hips or they can be out to the sides for balance. You're going to draw the left knee up hip height. Once again, I've got the foot flexed. I like to flex and flare the toes too. That just helps me to keep awareness and engagement through the whole leg there. So I'm going to circle open. Once again, you can be here for balance. Which I seem to be challenged with today by balance. I mean, it's always challenging, but some days more so than others. Okay, 2 more. I'm hearing my hip pop every time it circles. All right, we're going to move into that lunge work on the left side. So hands are either at the hips, they can be out to the sides, or hands at the heart. We're going to inhale forward and up with the left knee. Exhale, reach back through the leg to touch down into our high lunge position. So do your checks. Your front knee should be over your front ankle. Back heel is off the mat. I'm on the toes. And you're wrapping your back thigh in toward your navel to square your pelvis to the front of the mat. Hands to the hips or hands out to the sides. Again, take this with whatever depth your body says is okay. Do not hurt yourself here. Front knee remains over the front ankle, and it is a vertical motion. A drop down vertically to touch that back knee, and then up, not a shift forward in the horizontal direction. So, taking an inhale, exhale, touch down, or go as deeply as you can. Inhale up, exhale, touch, inhale up, exhale, touch, inhale up, exhale, touch, inhale up, exhale, touch. One more. Inhale up, exhale, touch, inhale up. Shift your weight. Use whatever you need to keep your balance, and try to launch the back foot back to standing, and we shake that out. Nice work. I can feel that you just did good work. I don't even have to see it. Really throw it away from you with oomph. That wasn't the word I was looking for, but it works. All right. So we're going to step back into that same lunge position. I'm going to have you use your hands on your knee for balance. And what we're going to work on is rotating the hip from internal rotation to the external rotation that we have in the back leg with Warrior 2 position, because we're going to go straight into Warrior 2 after we do a little bit of mobility work with that. So either hands out to the sides on the hips or at the heart. You're going to inhale up with the right knee. You'll exhale and step back with control to your high lunge position again. Now, you'll bring your hands to your knee for support here. So right now I've got my thigh wrapped in toward my navel, so I'm in this traditional lunge stance. I'm going to bring my right hand to my right hip, and I'm going to inhale and wrap in with my back heel to plant, and exhale, come back. We can speed it up a little bit and not do it with the breath. So you're just going to kind of toggle between Warrior 2 right here and lunge. So when I'm in Warrior 2, the heel is completely down. The foot is fully on the mat. When I'm in lunge stance, the heel is up and I'm on the toes. So I'm just moving between these two hip positions with the back hip. A couple more of those. And then on this next time that you open up, I want you to keep your Warrior 2 stance. Check your front leg. See if your knee is pointing in towards your big toe. If it is, you need to give a grip in the counterclockwise direction of that front heel to pull that hip up under you. If it's jutting in towards your big toe instead of lining up with second and third toe, you have a disengaged outer hip there, and we don't want that. Inhale the arms up and to the sides, and we find Warrior 2 position. And we can inhale and straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Hold there. We'll inhale. Let our back arm reach down our back leg and really reach up and over with the top. And then the exhale, we'll reverse everything. We'll bring our forearm to our thigh and reach back up and over into extended side angle. So we inhale. This is reverse or sun warrior. Exhale, extended angle. Inhale, sun warrior. Front thigh should be talking to you by now. Exhale, extended side angle. That was our last one there. We'll take a deep inhale, come back up. I want you to straighten that front leg. No, I'm sorry. Keep the front leg bent, wrap back toward your lunge position, and then you can launch the back foot forward. Shake that out. Woo! Feeling good? Okay, same thing, opposite side. Let me just get it seared into my brain where we went. Okay, because I'm going to come to the other side of my mat. I've got my sequence on that side. So, all right, so everything on the left leg this time. So we start by hands on the hips, hands at the heart, hands out to the side for balance. We inhale forward and up with the left knee. Exhale with control. Step back to our lunge position. You can bring your hands to the knee to start with to really find your lunge shape. Front knee over the front ankle, back heel off the mat, thigh wrapping in, back thigh wrapping in toward the navel to square the hips. Bring your left hand to your left hip, and we're going to wrap that heel inward, swivel it inward to open this hip out. A foot plants fully here, and then we'll come back to the lunge. Open, lunge. Open, that's warrior two stance. Lunge. Warrior two, lunge. Very important hip work that we're doing here. Lunge. Warrior two, lunge. Warrior two, lunge. Warrior two, lunge. And then you're going to warrior two and hold. Set this front hip by isometric rotation of the front heel in the clockwise direction to draw that hip up under you and solidify that front leg. Open the back shoulder over the back hip and inhale the arms to warrior two. I'm at an angle to the computer, so it doesn't look like a very glorious warrior two at all that I'm doing. Probably not. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. I can't believe that the deer haven't been out yet this evening. We've even got the pasture grass tall for them. They love it tall. I make my husband wait to cut it until the wildflowers come and go. We already have leer leaf sage blooming out there. The oxeye daisies and the clover will be next. One more. Straighten and bend. Hold there. Now we're going to move between sun warrior and extended angle. Sun warrior and extended angle. Sun warrior, last one, and extended angle. And inhale back up. Try to balance back to that lunge position and launch. Shake that out. Woo. Let me check our time and see what I need to chop, because I know I'm gonna have to chop because I am just halfway through my sequence and we're 5 till 7. Oh, go figure. All right, let me see where I wanna pull the old chopping block out. Yeah, I'll chop the rest of the standing sequence. We'll go ahead and come down and do some more floor work. So this would be, if you've got sensitive knees, this is going to be another time that you are going to want to pad under your knees. And I'm going to tilt my laptop screen down just a little bit so that y'all can hopefully see the leg position here. So we'll come back onto hands and knees. Yeah, I think y'all will be able to see this. We're going to set our hands again. Remember, slightly forward, slightly wider than the shoulders. Now, I want you to swivel your shins away from me so that you're opening toward the screen. And you're going to straighten out through the top leg. You're going to press down to rise up out of the bottom arm or bottom shoulder, and the sun's right in my eyes. Oh, it's so beautiful to be outside, but it is definitely dictates, it has its own personality in the video, that's for sure. So here I'm lifting. I don't want to sink into this shoulder and rib cage. I want to lift and stretch open. And then I can reach overhead with the top arm, feeling even more length. And if you want extra challenge, you're going to lift that top leg. Woo, there's the outer hip. Last breath. And release down. Turn back, hands and knees. Turn your toes under, and we will stretch that out with a downward facing dog. So just pressing back and up. Remember, don't collapse. You want to lift the navel and the low ribs to support your back and bring you into a neutral position with the spine. All right. You can lower back down. I'm going to turn to the other side so that you can see what's going on. Hands and knees again. Again, don't collapse. Lift for neutral spine. Hands slightly forward, slightly wider than the shoulders. Go ahead and set your hands so that you don't have all that pressure in your wrists. You'll swivel. If you didn't turn on your mat, then you'll swivel toward me this time. You're going to swivel away from me if you turned on your mat with me again. We're going to the other side. You should remember what side you just did. You should feel what side you just did. So I swivel, and then I open up, lengthen that leg out. And again, I don't want to sink into the shoulder and into the rib cage. I want to be pressing down to rise and lift and stretch up. And I breathe. This is a variation of Vasisthasana, extremely accessible for most. Very nice posture. And then let's reach overhead, palm down, just to get maximum. Try to spin your heart open, lift through the rib cage. And then for the last few breaths, if you want to lift the leg, breathe. Wow, this hip is not nearly as weak feeling as my other hip is. And release down. This time, just press back to a child's pose, giving the shoulders a rest from down dog. So hips toward heels. And then we'll come side lying. So if your hip is sensitive, tends to get tender when you side lie, feel free to blanket under your hip. So it doesn't matter what hip you start on, we're gonna get both of them. So I come side lying and I want to come in 90 degrees. So my knees are coming straight out from my hips. My shins are 90 degrees from my thigh bones. And I'm gonna come all the way down. I can either prop my head with my hand, or if you wanna come all the way down, you can. There's nothing that says you have to lift up with this one. I'm mainly lifting up because the sun's hitting my eyes more when I'm down, and I can actually see my screen when I've lifted up some, and I can't when I'm down. Okay, from here, now that we're side lying, I want you to draw your navel back, draw your low ribs in, and keep them there. This is to support the hips and the low back here. You're going to start by lifting that top leg. And what we're going to do is toggle between internal and external rotation here. So we'll start by keeping the foot in the air and dropping the knee down. Notice the foot twisted up and open when I did that. So I'm touching knees, and then I'm going to do the exact opposite and open the knee up and touch heels. So it's knees touch, heels touch, knees touch, heels touch. Keep going. Knees, heels. And I'm trying to really lift that ankle as much as I can with that one. And here I'm trying to lift and open with this top knee as much as possible. We'll do 3 more of these. 3, 2, check your ribs, check your belly. 1. Woo! And release down. My goodness, that doesn't look like you're doing much, but my goodness, that is some serious fitness. So we're going to stay with this top hip for this next one. Come onto your belly, and whatever was just your top hip, you're going to draw the leg open to a frog position out to the side of your hip as best you can. So frog position, I'll roll and show you what that looks like from the underside. The knees coming straight out from the hip. The inside of my leg is what's on the ground, and my foot is flexed. So it's a half frog position there. And we're on our belly here. And on our forearms. Now, if this is too much in your low back to be on your forearms, you can walk your forearms forward a little bit. I come elbows under shoulders, and that's fine with my low back, but please listen to your own low back to figure out where your forearms need to be positioned. Do draw your navel and your low ribs up. You can see the adjustment that happens. This is me just letting go, sagging. This is me lifting. So this is sag, this is lifted. So I've got my navel and my low ribs lifting up to help protect my back. And then I'm just going to do this movement of looking over each shoulder. So I'm going to look over my right shoulder first to my frog leg, and then I'm going to go look over my left shoulder. Frog leg, shoulder, other shoulder. And just keep looking back and forth as far back as you can. Breathing. One more look each side. And we'll come back to center. We'll straighten out, come down onto our belly, stack one hand on top of the other, bring your forehead to it. Bend your knees and flex your feet so that the soles of your feet are open to the ceiling. And you're just going to windshield wiper your chin side to side here. All right. So let's come in for that. Clamshell is what the first thing, the outer hip work that we started with here, that's what that's called, is a clamshell. So we're going to clamshell with the other side now. So I'm going to flip on my mat so that I'm still facing y'all. So the knees come straight forward from the hips and they're in 90 degrees here. Again, we want to set our low ribs and belly to protect our low back. So draw them back in so that you're not collapsing forward. You're tightening and pulling back in. And then we're going to lift the top leg. And it's knees and heels. 2 heels. Knees and heels. Knees, heels, knees, heels, knees, heels, knees, heels, knees, heels. 3 more. Knees, heels, knees, heels. Last one. Knees, heels. And you can come onto your belly now. Frog leg with that hip you just worked. Find your comfortable position in regards to your low back with where you've placed your forearms. Draw up with your navel and low ribs. And we'll look over shoulder to shoulder. When I look over each shoulder like this, I can just feel the tension draining out of my neck and jaw area. That's where I hold most of my tension, is in my jaw and back of my neck. Stay lifted in the belly and the low ribs, please. I'm a teeth clencher. Lucky me. I think we all have our thing, though. One more look each side. Very good. And you can help yourself. I think we're going onto our backs. Yes, onto your back. Let me check the time. We are perfect. I only had to cut out like a third of what I planned. Y'all missed out on some more serious standing business. It's your lucky Friday. Okay, we're gonna do one of the same moves, actually a couple of the same moves that we had in last Friday's class. Because it just felt so darn good on my low back. I was like, I need to bring that back in this week. So we're going to start by lengthening our legs over our hips and just shake your legs out a little bit. There's no wrong way to do this. And then maybe point and flex your feet a little. Okay, so from here, if you want a little more support, you can bring your hands down by your hips. If you want to challenge your core a little bit more, you can clasp your hands behind your head for this. But all we're going to do is just get a little bit of momentum and tuck the hips and lift them just a little bit and then come back. So we can either be here doing this, and this is not much. I mean, it's enough. Don't get me wrong. And after we do 20 of these, it'll definitely be enough. But don't feel like you're having to be strict about going straight up, which is what we do when we're really doing deep core work. This is more of a horizontal movement, almost like you're going into plow position, but then you don't. It's just a gentle rocking motion here. This is more for release of the low back than it is for hardcore strengthening movement. I mean, you can feel it in your belly, definitely. I'm already feeling it. But I'm feeling it also releasing the low back for me. And 2 more. All right, and bend your knees, bringing them back to the mat. Again, the palms can either be down by your hips, arms lengthened. I'm going to stay clasped behind my head here. We'll cross our right ankle over our left knee, figure 4 style. And then you're going to lift your left foot off the mat, drawing your knee in toward your chest. Same rocking movement. So we're going to lift and then lower back. So I'm just rocking here in the same way I was just doing. I'm just getting a different sensation because I've got the ankle crossed over the knee. So it's getting more into the back side of my right hip. Piriformis area, as well as a little bit of IT band, a little bit of hamstring attachment. Still a little bit of core, a little bit of low back releasing happening. We'll take 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Rest the left foot back to the mat, keeping in your figure 4 position. If you've got your hands clasped behind your head, go ahead and bring them down to the mat. You're going to turn your palms up and you're going to crawl your shoulders up under you, which will probably be bring an arch into your low back. That's fine. From here, we're going to tuck under with our pelvis, press through our foot, and lift our hips up, trying to keep them equal, so balanced, and then exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. Oh no, some of my sequence just went away. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. We're almost done anyway. Exhale, down. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Last one. Lift. And down. You can uncross. Take a wide stance and maybe windshield wiper out with your knees. It's nice being on my back because I'm looking up into one of our hickory trees. It's one of our hickory trees in our dog fence, and the dogs chew on the hickory nuts as soon as they start falling. It's like one of their favorite things is to find hickory nuts and chew on them. Anyway. All right. So we will not do the lengthened legs again. We'll go ahead and cross left ankle over right knee, figure 4 style. And then you'll lift your right foot off the mat, drawing the right knee in toward the chest. And so we'll do that rocking motion again. Arms can either be down by your sides, or you can have hands clasped behind your head. We're breathing. And hopefully you're hearing the birds singing. One's chirping right now. Okay, 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Lower your right foot back down to the mat. Do bring your arms down by your sides, palms up. Tuck your shoulder blades up under you. That'll open your heart there, stretch open in your chest. And we'll tuck under. Inhale, lift, trying to really press the hips up. Exhale, lower down. 4 more. Inhale, lift and press. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift and press. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift and press. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Last one. I think I did one too many. Oh well, bonus. Exhale, down. Go ahead and release that. Hug your knees into your chest, and you can rock from side to side. Here's a little tip. If you feel like you need a little more release in your low back, you can draw down on your shins with your hands, but push your knees back up into your hands as you draw down onto. You'll feel your low back mash into the mat when you do that. To me, that feels so good. And if you'll keep that little bit of resistance and then rock across your back, you should get some nice low back release. You can tuck your chin up into for even a little bit more. So just rocking across. A few more breaths here, just releasing. These classes are timed just right for the sunlight here because it is starting to drop behind the tree line. The sun is. It's so nice to be out here though. All right, you can release your knees and you can lengthen your legs out on your mat, bringing your feet about mat's distance apart. And then you can bring your arms extended out to the sides of your body and wiggle your shoulders up under you again to open the heart space. And then I really want you to stretch your legs away from your body as much as you can. So you're trying to bring maximum engagement and length into your legs. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, just let go of your legs. And you're going to do the same thing with your arms. Really press the backs of your hands into the mat and lengthen your arms away from you as much as you can. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, just let that turn into jello. And then lift your head off your mat. Lift from the base of your skull and then place your head back down so that the back of your neck is long and you're on that flat part of the back of your head. And we're now in Shavasana. And I'll say this, if any of you have some tinginess in your low back's not feeling great with the legs lengthened out on the mat, you can bring a pillow under your knees and that'll bend them a little bit and relax the low back if being in Shavasana in its traditional form doesn't feel good in your body. I want you to be able to completely let go right here. Come into the breath. Letting go, I whisper, it's okay to release. Letting go, my body says back to me, thank you. Letting go, I find a silence and a stillness so sweet. Letting go, I feel my body welcome in peace. This feeling of centeredness, groundedness, and ease becomes available anytime I'm willing to let go and welcome release. As the sound of the bell enters into your awareness, let it bring with it an awareness of your surroundings, beginning to deepen your breath and turn your senses outward once again. Slowly begin to bring movements back into your body, starting with fingertips and toes, hands and feet, wrists and ankles, arms and legs. Whole body making movements that feel good to you. And when you're ready, make your way over onto your right side using arm or blanket as a pillow, remaining there for just a couple of breaths, allowing all weight off the heart. And then you can gently help yourself up to a comfortable seated position. We'll end where we began. I invoke favor, peace, prosperity, and health upon each of us this day. May we experience full restoration, nothing missing, nothing broken. That which has been taken from us, physical and not, may it be returned to us sevenfold. And that which was once broken in our lives, bodies, minds, or spirits, may it be mended like new. May all beings be happy, healthy, and free, and may we practice with patience and know much peace. Namaste. Thank you to each of you for joining me this evening here in the recording room, and thank you to each of you who joined me via YouTube later on. Peace. Namaste.